Welcome back to Gossip Queens and Fantasy Things.
We are, as always, your Gossip Queen hosts. I'm Taven.
I'm Addie.
And we're back for episode 8, which was kind of a milestone of ours.
Yes, it was. I know I've mentioned it twice on here already, but if you're a new listener, I just saw a statistic that, 74% of podcasts don't make it past episode 8. So that was kind of what we were aiming for, to get 8 episodes, really pass through that. And we did.
And we're here.
Here to stay. So we're very excited to have you here for episode 8. Yes. For us, it's a big deal.
Yes.
And we're excited too, because last week we felt we really hit our stride and had the most incredible episode we've had yet. We were very excited about it.
We stopped filming and we were just like, God, that was so good. That just felt good. It's the content, I think, was just so consistent and so much better.
Yes. I think part of it too, we really picked a specific topic.
Yeah.
We decided to kind of deep dive some different monsters and stuff leading up to Halloween.
Spooky season.
Last week we talked about vampires, which we love. There's so much good vampire content out in the world. There really is,
too
pop
much
culture
to even
content.
fit in one episode, honestly.
Truly, we could.
There was so much more I wanted to talk about.
We'll probably do a part 2 and a part 3 down the road.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, and we're so excited for this week because we are talking about ghosts. And I really hope that there's quite a few of you watching on YouTube, because we showed up for the occasion of ghosts.
Yeah.
And
as we do, you know?
And we're just excited about it. We're wearing some fitting outfits that we think are really good. It does make it a little difficult to talk about.
Outfits is a crazy way to explain what we're wearing, but
I mean, it's just a sheet with the eye holes cut out.
We are sheet ghosts.
We're sheet ghosts. We're very, very excited about it. Cody, we were gonna just get white sheets. He warned against it.
Maybe don't do that.
So Taven's got a black sheet ghost, and I'm a pink sheet ghost.
I feel like it would be spooky.
I think these colors fit us too.
Yeah.
They kind of fit our vibes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So we're excited to get into ghost stuff today. We have some fun and spooky things to talk about. We were comparing our lists today, and it was crazy.
They were drastically different lists on what we wanted to talk about ghost-wise.
I do think our ghost interests, though, really encapsulate, who we are.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get into it.
That's so funny.
And, we just wanted to start with a little weekly recap. We just have a couple things to catch up on. I remembered the one thing we need to talk about first. Okay. Number 1, our book club.
Oh, yes. That's what it was. Okay.
We had some things on the weekly recap, and we talked about one earlier, and we could not remember
Immediately
it.
forgot.
But it's the most important one.
Yeah.
Last week, on our episode, we let you guys know the next book we're going to read and review, because we started this podcast because of the Court of Thorns and Roses series. So we've talked about those books a lot. We both finished them now, and we were looking for the next fantasy book to read.
Because I think I'm in the middle of Throne of Glass, and then I think you want to start it eventually, but I think we needed a little palate cleanser.
Yes. A little easy read.
Yeah, an easy read, a different world to kind of dive into. Yeah. And we found something.
We did. I will say it's an easy read.
Yes.
Remedial.
Easy.
I'm just kidding. So the book we're reading is A Touch of Darkness.
It's kind of a retelling of the story of Hades and Persephone, which I love their story. I've always been obsessed with Persephone in Greek mythology. But it is set in the modern world, which is very interesting. Yeah.
We won't get too much into it now, because we're going to talk about it
100 pages in.
Yeah, and we want to do an episode in October when, people, if you've listened and you want to read the book, we want to do an episode when people have read it. I will say it's a super easy read so far.
Yeah.
It, honest to God, is cringy. It's cringy, but get through it. It's still a good read.
It's a great story so far. I'm obsessed with the story. The characters, love them. But some of the writing, it does feel we were talking about it, very YA.
Yes.
But the content is not, which is what is surprising to me, I think.
Yes. So it's an interesting read. Yeah. We're so excited to talk about it with everyone. Yes. So I know we had quite a few people, respond on our poll on Instagram that you're going to read along.
Oh, did they? I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I just saw that you responded and I was like, I'm reading along.
Most people, if you message us on Instagram or you get a response, it's probably from me. I feel like I check it obsessively.
And then if one of us sees it, the other person doesn't, because then the notification goes away, so...
Yeah, so I feel like if I see it, I'll respond immediately.
And then I won't know what the hell is going on.
True, I should tell you. But anyways... We're excited to have you read it with us. Yes. We won't give away too much, but keep that on your radar. If you hadn't picked up the book, it's like $10 at Target.
Yeah.
A Touch of Darkness. It's in the adult section, not the YA section, and start reading. And in October, we'll do an episode about it. Yeah. And if you have thoughts while you're reading it, like message us, text us. We want to know what you're thinking.
Yeah, because we're probably thinking the same things. But...
Yes, we can all talk about it while you're reading, and then any thoughts we'll probably like share them on the podcast when we go through that. But that was our biggest weekly update, just to remind you to get the book and start reading.
Yep, been reading a lot. So.
Yeah, and then our other big weekly update on theme for the ghosts, though not intended to be on.
Yeah, not intended, but it is on theme. We did get tattoos.
It was my first tattoo. I don't have any tattoos.
First ever for Addie.
This was my first one, and it was the most impulsive thing I've ever done in my life.
It was very spontaneous. It was crazy. We were just sitting in Addie and Cody's house, just on the couch. Cody had just gotten home from work, and he literally just randomly was like, Taven, do you have your tattoo stuff with you? And I was like, no, not here, but my studio is like 5 minutes down the road from their house. And he was like, what if we all just went and got tattoos right now? And then, why did we even think of the theme that we did? Like, what?
I don't know, but Cody has been wanting to get more tattoos. He already has one, and he's been wanting more. I've been thinking of getting my first one, and I've had a plan for it. I want to get me and Cody's, like, birth flowers tattoo.
It's not what we ended up doing at
No,
all.
it is not what we ended up doing. But Cody, he's been just, like, really wanting another one. Yeah. So he was like, let's do it right now. And I have no idea how we ended up... We got ghost tattoos.
Yeah.
Taven and I got wizard ghosts.
So just, a cute little ghost wearing a little wizard hat, and he's got a little wand.
And
so ours are directly matching.
Yeah, and then Cody got a ghost who's drinking a little boba drink, which is so perfect for Cody.
So fitting for him, so cute. But I don't know why we decided on that or started looking.
I think we just wanted something like simple and easy.
Season, yeah.
We had ghost cookies. No, we went and bought ghost cookies after we got our tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't know, we had a whole ghost night, and then we watched a scary movie, and it was perfect, but it was so crazy, so spontaneous of us.
Yeah, Addie gave me my tattoo, which is crazy, because it was also her first time ever, like, picking up a tattoo machine.
And I did great.
She did so good. I was so impressed. I was showing my boyfriend and his sister, and they both were like, oh my god, that looks so good, like, can't see, like, a single shaky line or anything, and... But Addie, she's a professional artist. She's a painter, so it kind of makes sense. But
yeah,
I was surprised. It was a lot better than my first tattoo that I ever did, for sure. So
I wasn't surprised I did good. I knew I would. But it is funny because if you directly compare me and Taven's tattoos, you can tell which one is done by a tattoo artist. If you just look at Taven's, you would never know. But if you compared it directly to mine, you can definitely tell one is done by a professional and the other is done by maybe someone who has art experience, but they've not used a tattoo gun.
Because it is definitely a completely different medium. Like, it's, skin and a needle, which is crazy. And then there's, like, so much that goes into it. Like, if you don't stretch the skin enough, the needle will, like, get stuck in your skin. And that
definitely happened to Taven multiple times.
Which, mine is on my ankle, too. So I was, like, trying to, like, encourage her, like, you're doing great. But I'm also like, God, it hurts so bad.
My bad.
But, I don't know. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can maybe kind of see it.
That's just going to be the bottom of your foot. Put away that free foot content.
It's on my ankle. It's really cute. But
mine's on my hip, so no one will ever see
no one can know.
I like how we're both just, on the video, if you watch the YouTube, we're both just, like, pulling our sheet faces back the whole time so we can speak out of our mouth holes.
I don't know, if you guys have ever worn a sheet ghost costume, let me know what you did to make it stay in place, because mine just keeps...
Yeah, do you, like, tape
sliding around all crazy. We were wishing that we had, like, crowns or something to put on to... We tried sunglasses, but then it was just too dark, and that didn't really work.
I couldn't even see anything in this room.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about this, but it works for what it is. So anyways, that was kind of our weekly update. Some fun things. We played a lot of pickleball this week. Kicked ass.
Yeah.
It was good.
Absolutely transcended. I feel like I moved up to a whole new godly level in
Taven
pickleball.
did. Yeah. She did really good.
I was killing it. And then, so Addie... We go out to lunch the other day, and Addie's like, what are you doing on this day? And I'm like, I don't know, probably nothing. And she's like, good, because I signed you up for a pickleball tournament.
Not with me, with Cody.
Without telling me or asking me if I wanted to. She just signs me up for this tournament.
Well, to be fair, I put Cody and friend.
Okay.
But you were our first draft pick. for the pickleball team.
Love that.
But I had signed up with my mom, so Cody needed a partner, and I was like, oh, I'm sure Taven would like to do it. I just need to make sure she's free that day. But we usually hang out on Saturdays anyways, so I didn't think it'd be a problem. It's on a Saturday. Catch us at the pickleball court.
Absolutely destroying.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think with that, we're ready to deep dive our ghost stuff. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start? Maybe we can go back and forth.
Back and forth, yeah.
Guys,
so it's a little bit of both. It's all over the spectrum.
It really is. I feel like my vibe for ghosts was goofy cartoons. That was pretty much it. A goofy ghost or cartoon ghosts, things like that. And Taven has like real haunted
life
stories.
Hauntings, spooky stories, famous haunted places. Yeah.
I think, you know what? I'm going to open with the story of my 7th grade birthday party. Okay. And this will lead into our first question of, do you believe in ghosts? Yeah. Here's the story. When I was in 7th grade, I had a birthday party, and I was so excited because this was my first year in junior high. So I had made like a lot of new friends, and I still had some of my old friends from like elementary school. It was just like an exciting time to kind of like mix people, and I was just hyped. I was hyped to have it. And everyone came over. We like played games and stuff. I don't even know what we did. It was kind of just like hang out, play games. It was kind of like my first adultish birthday party too, because there was no like true theme. Although now I've reverted back. I do themes for every party.
Yeah, love a good theme.
A party honestly isn't great without a theme.
No.
But anyways, so everyone came over, and one girl at my party, I had just become friends with her, and she was like, we should do like a Ouija board, pretty much, but not a real Ouija board.
Crazy.
She was like, it's like when you use a cup and you all put your fingers on the cup and you summon a spirit and ask it questions, and it like moves the cup.
Do you just like draw on like a paper then or something?
Yeah, you put like yes or no on the side of the table, and then the cup can move towards things. But so at that point in time, I didn't believe in ghosts, and why I didn't believe in ghosts was because of my upbringing. Like, you know, I grew up religious, but we never talked about spirits other than the Holy Ghost. So I guess I should have thought ghosts were real. But
I guess so.
We never talked about evil ghosts. And the teachings that I grew up with were like, when you die, you go to the spirit world in heaven. Not that you like can linger on the earth or anything. So I never thought ghosts were real. And so I was like, oh, this will be funny, like a fun little party game. A couple of the girls there, though, they're like, we're not gonna play. And I was like, okay, be a little stick in the mud. I didn't really think too much about it, but because we did this goofy game, it took like 5 minutes, and then we were like, okay, whatever. And then one of the girls told her mom, who worked with my mom, and my mom the next day she got so mad at me, and she's like, I am so disappointed in you that you invited evil spirits into our home. And I was like, ghosts aren't real. And she was like, ghosts are very real, Addie, and we believe that like spirits, there are evil spirits. I'm like, well, this is the first I'm hearing of this, you know?
That's crazy.
And so my mom made me write apology letters to every single person I invited to my
really
birthday
out here
party.
Making you write a lot of apology letters.
Yes, literally anytime I made a mistake as a kid, I had to write like a whole apology letter. That's why now I hate apologizing. Okay.
Maybe, yeah, that makes sense.
I hate apologizing. If you get an apology from me, know that I feel really, really bad. Because
it's a big deal.
Honestly, too, I just don't think I'm wrong that much.
I recently got an apology from Addie about something that happened like 2 years ago almost. And yeah, like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
Addie,
this is crazy.
Then you feel vindicated. You're like, I guess I was right.
I guess I was validated in my feelings.
No, yeah, I don't like apologizing. It's probably because I had to handwrite so many freaking apologies. Where things as a kid, I think most people would write it off like, oh, don't do that again. You know, you're just a kid.
Yeah.
Because I was 12.
Yeah.
Anyways, I had to write everyone an apology. I was so embarrassed. And then I felt bad because the girl who, like, initiated this thing, my mom didn't want her at her house anymore.
Really?
And, like, because she's like, she's a bad kid. I'm like, she's a really good kid. Like, again, she's 12. Like, I don't know.
Kids will believe anything.
Kids will believe anything, and they do goofy things. But so, that was kind of my first interaction with the spirit world.
Did anything happen?
I think the cup did move, but you know, I like didn't.
There's always someone.
I didn't put stock into it because I didn't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a place. Do I believe in ghosts? I actually don't know.
Really?
I guess I don't think about it. I feel like I do believe in bad spirits, but do I believe they can really do that much to me? No.
That's what, so my question, of course, is going to be like, do you believe in it? But then, like, to what extent? Because, like, there's so many, like, tellings of people seeing, like, apparitions and stuff that I'm like, sure. But I don't know if I believe that they can, like, physically do things in the material world, you know? Like, harm you
or even, like, possess objects and stuff. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, can they harm you? Can they possess you? I don't know if I believe that. I think they can exist and, like, inhabit a place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, some of your things on your list, you wanted to talk about haunted places. And one of them, this wasn't on your list, but I think of is, like, Ted Bundy's cabin.
Oh,
how people, like, go up there, which I think is crazy. I think you've been up there, right?
No, I haven't, actually.
My cousin told me she went up there, and I'm like, I don't think you should go there, because I do think that there's really, like, bad energy and probably bad spirits there. But I don't know what they can do to you other than maybe make you really sad or make you uncomfortable. I just don't know.
I feel like, because I was doing a little bit of research this morning, I had to take my car down to the mechanic, and I feel like a lot of people, when they describe the feeling of, like, a ghost being in the room with them or something, they start feeling, like, really, like, ill, like, they feel nauseous, they feel like the hairs stand up, you know, that kind of cold chill.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what besides that are they gonna do? Like, it's not, you know, because, like, on the level of, like, that we see in, like, movies and stuff, where they could, like, kill you and, like, haunt you and possess you, I'm like, that seems a bit extreme. But, you know, the Warrens were real people. They were real life paranormal investigators. So I don't know how much stock I put into that.
The Conjurings were actually on my list of things to talk about, so this leads perfectly into it.
Great.
Yeah, things like that, like, I think of the first Conjuring movie. This was on my list because these are genuinely some of my favorite movies. The Conjurings, I think they're just so well made.
Fun.
And they're really scary.
Yeah.
But the first one, it's kind of like a basic possession. Like, they move into a haunted house and the ghost starts to possess, like, the mother who lives there. And it's slow. Like, the possession process is slow, but then it becomes really extreme. And big spoiler,
if you haven't seen it by now.
Yeah, she, like, tries to kill her children.
Yeah.
Because of this ghost that's possessing her. And I don't know if a ghost could do that, just because I've never seen anything so intense, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like if I had grown up in a place where maybe possessions were more talked about, because I know a lot of people, like, believe in them. I feel like in South America, people I've heard who went on Mormon missions, I always hear stories of them, like, casting out demons and like performing essentially exorcisms.
Oh, interesting.
But not like a Catholic exorcism, like a Mormon exorcism, whatever that looks like.
Interesting.
You know, and I feel like I've heard stories where maybe it's more popular in, like, the South or the Midwest.
Yeah.
Not popular, not like people are getting possessed all the time, but it's
more
like
common to hear about.
More common to hear about, because I feel like here in Utah with, like, the Mormon religion, again, how I grew up, I didn't believe in ghosts, and not because it's, like, not real or something the church teaches. I feel like it's almost just what you think, because, like, you don't, you know, you believe spirits just go to the spirit world. Yeah. And
going right to heaven.
Just go, right to the next life. And so I just don't think that that's something common in Utah or talked about. But then that makes me wonder too how much belief plays into, like, possession and maybe, like, mental illness or, like, your own habits, and then you're like, well, I'm possessed, this demon's making me do this. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was on my list too, was the religious aspect of ghosts and hauntings. Because you know, in almost every, like, big case that you hear about of, like, hauntings and stuff, it's like an exorcism is religious, you know? It's like in the holy water and the crosses that they hate, you know? So I'm like, if you're not religious, if you don't believe in anything like that, can you still believe in ghosts? Because then, like, what are you going to do to get rid of one? Because an exorcism is a religious practice, so...
Well, I guess you wouldn't, because essentially a ghost, it's like your soul, right? It's a soul that is still on this earth. And so if you're not religious, maybe you have different ideas of the soul and, like, what that looks like. Yeah. And maybe your soul wouldn't, like, linger on earth, or maybe your soul is just connected directly to your body. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. But the Conjurings are really good. I would watch those. Anyways, they're really good. Number 2 is the scariest, I think. Number 3 was more based on Satanists. Have you seen the third Conjuring?
I think so.
It's one of the only horror movies I've seen in theaters, because I usually like to watch them at home or, like, in the middle of the day. But I saw it in theaters and I almost pissed my pants. It was so scary. And 2, it was more like Satanist, which is really terrifying to me, because a ghost, like, here's my other thing with ghosts. They don't really scare me because I know I'm not putting myself in a situation where I would get, like, attacked by a ghost. Honestly, if I felt weird vibes from anything, I'd be out, right? And I'm not going to buy a house that there's like chatter around the small town. Everyone's like, that's a haunted house. I'm not buying that house. So I don't feel worried about getting possessed by a demon.
What if you moved into a brand new house, there was no chatter or anything, but then you end up getting haunted, you would move?
Yeah, I'd probably move.
Yeah.
Also, they don't haunt new houses. That's not ghost canon.
Well, okay, not like a brand new built house, but like a house that hasn't had any like stories around it or anything. It's just a regular old house that you move into.
Yeah.
And then you start like seeing or feeling stuff.
I'd probably move.
Yeah,
or I'd go to like a psychiatrist or something. I don't know. But the third Conjuring is about a Satanist, and she's like cursing people to like be possessed by demons. And that scares me because she just targets random people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could be targeted by a random human. A ghost? They would never mess with me. Probably.
I don't know that.
I don't know, too. The ghosts, they break down your spirit so they can inhabit your body. My spirit's too strong.
Yeah.
Too strong for possession. Only one person can fit in this body.
That's actually one of my, like, greatest fears is just because, like, is being haunted is because I feel like there's nothing I could do about it. Like, if like a serial killer came to my home or something, at least I could like have some line of defense. But if I'm being haunted, because I'm not religious and I don't really believe in anything like that, I'm like, if I'm being haunted, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't see this thing, I don't know where it's coming from, and I can't stop it. It's just coming for me.
That's so funny, because I kind of feel the opposite, actually. Like, I feel like with a ghost, in all these movies, in ghost lore, I feel like what most people believe is that the ghosts will haunt you to break you down, and then they possess you. So their ultimate goal is, like, possession, to have a body, to have that physical body.
True.
And so I'm kind of like, if I'm possessed, I don't care, You
just go about your daily life.
Like, well, what do I know? I'm possessed. I don't have control over my body. I feel like,
yeah, but then you start, maybe you're still in there somewhere in the background, and you just know that this demon's, like, hurting all your loved ones and stuff?
I don't know. It really doesn't bother me that much, because I'm like, I'm not the one doing it,
That's crazy.
But a serial killer, I just would have to, like, I don't know, that seems a lot more scary and pressing to me.
Well, because I think of, like, the movie, I don't know if you've seen it, The Strangers?
No.
Oh, well, it's, like, because those movies scare me more, because they're more realistic, like, this could actually happen to me.
Yeah.
But it's, like, this group of strangers comes to this random house, and they, like, basically, they're, like, all wearing masks, and they start, like, picking these people off one by one, and that's the scariest movie I've ever seen, just because I'm like, God, that's real, like, that can happen. But yeah, I feel like I'd have more of a defense against that, though. Like, I could, like, find my hidden gun or knife or something, and at least I would have a chance. But what am I gonna do against a ghost?
See, maybe that's the
thing. I don't want to fight.
On hand. I just want them to possess me. If I even see a hint of a haunting, I'm letting that ghost surrendering to the ghost. I'm like, know what, buddy? You want a body? I get it. I would want one too. I would want one too. Let's just share.
Next week on the podcast, you just start acting a little bit different. Like, is that you, Eddie? What's going on?
This is Adeline. Adeline with one sister, born in 1997.
That's me.
That is me.
Believable. We're good.
Taven would be like, okay, Addie's just kind of weird today, I don't know.
Let's do a whole episode with a ghost. That'd be so crazy.
That would be so crazy.
It'd be so fun.
What if you watch back the video
and there's like
no one here? I'm not even here. I'm a ghost right now, Taven.
That'd be so. I'm just talking to myself for an hour, just having a conversation.
I passed away on my way up here.
Oh my god, that'd be so crazy.
That would be crazy.
What a hit for the podcast, though. Be like, this week, you'll never believe what happened.
Taven has a conversation with a real ghost.
I was gonna say, what if we watched the recording back and there was just something standing behind me the whole episode?
That would be spooky.
I would die. I think if I was ever haunted, I would just kill myself, honestly. I couldn't handle the tension.
The tension? That's so crazy. I feel like I'd be just...
That's what gets me in horror movies, is, like, the tension when they're just, like, cooking dinner and there's, like, a ghost watching them or something, and it's just, like...
But you wouldn't know. You're not, like, watching from the ghost eyes.
No, but then it keeps getting worse, right? Like, it's like, oh, a picture frame gets knocked down, but then it's like, oh, all the windows blew open at the same... So it's just, like, keeps getting worse throughout the movie.
That's true.
And I think it's the tension of finally being like, when are you gonna kill me? Just do it already, please.
I feel like a ghost would have to try really hard to haunt me, because, like, I grew up in an old house. Like, you know my parents' house, it was built in the 60s.
True.
So, like, the floor was always squeaky squeaking. It was always making noises, even if no one was upstairs. Like, our water heater was always making noises. At one point, we had, like, a rat living in our wall.
Oh my god. Was that the rat that we killed?
Yes! It was like, I don't know how this rat got into our house, but you could hear it sometimes. You would hear it scurry through the walls.
No!
And so, I don't know. I feel like
Absolutely
I would just
not.
ignore a lot of things because I'm like, that's just the
That's
house.
just the house.
That's just a rat. So I
He's
feel
really being haunted.
if like a picture frame fell off the wall, I'd be like, I probably didn't put the nail in far enough, you know? I don't know, like the picture falls down and cracks. Maybe the ghost is like trying to kill Cody and there's like Cody's face is slashed out. I'd be like, wow, that's such a crazy coincidence.
Such a convenient place for that picture to be.
Yeah. Maybe I don't believe in ghosts. I feel like I'd really write off this ghost. I'd like piss him off. They'd be like, come on!
He's like, I'm going to a different house. This sucks.
Yeah.
She's not even scared.
She doesn't even think. I'm working so hard. I'm using all my ghost energy to knock down a goddamn picture frame.
And she doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Okay, this actually, it kind of ties into one of my topics because I used to be like really, really scared of ghosts. Like I like fully believed in them. I was like 100% they're real.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get haunted one day. Like that's just what's gonna happen to me.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like that inspired a lot of like dreams that I still have sometimes, but I used to have these dreams a lot, like very frequently,
Uh-huh.
very often. Addie's trying to sip her Celsius through the sheet. But yeah, so the first one I had, because I remember my friends and I think it was like our friend Minju and then a few other people came over. But I had this like in my old house, I had this really creepy room in my closet because I had a walk-in closet, but then there was another door that had like the water heater and stuff. But in that room, there was an attic, and I was so scared of that room. I was
sorry,
like,
which house was this
at the pool? No, the pool house, the last house I lived in. The one down by the...
When you lived in the basement? Or are you talking about your room upstairs?
No, my room upstairs.
Oh, okay. I only went in there once ever, so...
Because I moved into the basement because I was so scared of that room. I could not stand to live in that room. It, like, gave me nightmares. Because, yeah, so there was this room that had the attic, so I'd always keep that closet door closed. And I still have a lot of reoccurring dreams about that house and, like, going into that closet and just feeling, like, weird, gross vibes. But one night in junior high, as friends do, we were like messing around and like trying to invoke the spirits or whatever.
Classic.
But we didn't have like a Ouija board or anything, so we downloaded this like ghost app on my phone.
A ghost app?
Yeah, and you were like supposed to like ask questions and then like the phone would be like, yes, no, whatever. But so we were like sitting on the other side of the door, we were asking it questions, and it said something about like an accident. It was like there will be an accident or someone will get like injured in like a car or something. And then we walked down the street to go get Fizz, and there was literally an ambulance and a police car at the junior high at the school. So I was terrified. I was like, hell no. And that night I had a dream that I was sitting on the other side of that door, and I had my ear like pressed up to it, and I knocked twice, and something knocked twice back.
No.
And I was like, absolutely not. So that's when I moved into the basement.
I would
was
too.
Like,
that would actually
not.
be scary.
Screw this room. Screw this house. But,
maybe someone is dead in the attic. Did you ever check?
Oh, I never went up there. Absolutely not.
I bet there's a dead body up there.
That'd be so crazy. Oh my gosh. I just like go to the current owners.
Buried
like,
under the insulation.
Can I look up in your attic real quick? No, I wouldn't. Especially after the movie we just watched, Tarot.
Okay, yeah,
that ladder that comes
this
down.
Is some beef that I have with horror movies when there's an attic scene, like a little ladder up to an attic. And so, also, Tarot, that was a fun movie on Netflix.
Walk down.
But yeah, when someone
what
goes
are you
up,
doing?
they like poke their head into the attic and it's dark and they hear scuttling and then they're like just looking. I'm like, just get down and close the attic door.
Yeah.
Like, I have never been curious enough
No.
that I would venture into a dark attic.
There's no way I would, first of all, go all the way in.
Yeah.
Like, crawl all the way up. But also, don't just hover midway.
Yeah.
Just, if you hear something, get your ass back down.
Also, here's my other thing. If I ever hear something even slightly suspicious, I definitely have a knife in my hand. And I have all the lights on.
And I'm not going investigating.
No! I actually used to
idiot.
answer, when I lived with my parents, well, I still do this at my house. If I'm home alone, I will always answer the door with either a pan, scissors, or a knife.
Really?
Yeah, just in case. You can't be too
It's
careful
like the
out here.
missionaries, you're like, okay.
Sorry, like, solar sales boys who come to my door. I've got, like, a freaking giant knife. I'm like, I was just chopping onions. Don't even worry about it.
A baseball bat. You're like, I'm just outside hitting. That's so crazy.
Oh my gosh, can I tell a story?
Yeah.
This wasn't on my list, but this was scary.
Okay.
This isn't even a ghost. Maybe it is a ghost story. Actually, my house almost got broken into like a year and a half ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like in my craft room with my friend. She was over at my house. We were crafting away. And Cody was out with his brother and I heard the front door open. So I just thought it was Cody. So I yelled like, Cody. He didn't respond, but sometimes he can't hear me when I'm like back in the craft room. So I was like, oh, it's just Cody, whatever. Yeah. So we keep crafting, and after like 10 minutes, Cody hadn't come back, which is really unusual. Like, he always likes to see what I'm up to, and especially if I have friends over. Cody is big FOMO, so he like always comes back to hang out. So I was like, that's so weird. So I like went and I checked. I'm like trying to find Cody, and he wasn't in the house. So I like text him, and I'm like, hey, did you come home? And he's like, no, I've been out this whole time. Like, I haven't come home at all. And so I was like freaked out, and I went back and told my friend, I'm like, Anna, I think someone might be in the house. And she was like, what? And I'm like, because she heard the door open too. I'm like, Cody has not been here this whole time. And we didn't have roommates at this point in time. Like, now we do rent out the bottom of our house.
Oh my god.
But we didn't at this time. So like no one else lived with us. It was just the two of us. I was so freaked out. And so I was like almost gonna call the police, but I'm like, okay, we'll just check. So Anna got both our pairs of sewing scissors. She had like dual scissors. That was my friend that was over. And I had a baseball bat. I had Cody's baseball bat. And
oh my god.
We checked everywhere upstairs and like in my closet. We turned on all the lights and stuff. And then I was like, if someone did come in, they're probably in the basement. Like, that's where they would go if they're gonna hide. So I like yelled down the stairs. I yelled, if you're an intruder, we have weapons and we will hurt you. I like said something like that.
Literally just a pair of scissors.
And a freaking baseball bat. Yeah. Sewing scissors are sharp too. But I was like, if you are an intruder, just know that we are armed and we're not messing around. And
that's so funny.
We went downstairs and we like checked everywhere. There was no one in the house, thank goodness. But I think what happened, because we had some e-bikes at the time that were in our front, like we kept them in our front room and our blinds were open. I think someone was trying to steal them because
when they heard you yell Cody, probably.
Yes, I think they were like, oh shoot, someone's in this house. Like, this isn't an empty house. Because I think there was no car in the driveway, so they were probably like, oh, no one's home, doors unlocked. Some fresh e-bikes. Because I went and asked my neighbors too, because me and my neighbors, we have the same color doors, so sometimes people get mixed up and they go to the wrong house. So I did go over to my neighbors and I'm like, hey, were you like expecting someone? And they were like, no, we weren't. And I'm like, okay, I was just wondering. So I think that someone was trying to rob us.
That's so crazy.
It was scary.
That is scary, yeah. If I was home alone, well, yeah, with your friend, but still.
I was like, we have the
without
weapons.
Cody in the house?
Oh,
it's so scary.
It was so spooky. Anyways, that was just like a little side note. Not about a ghost at all.
That's so funny.
About a robber.
It could be. What if it was a ghost?
Who opened my door?
Yeah.
Maybe. Now I just have a ghost living in my house?
Maybe. You just let him in that day. Never left.
Interesting. Anyways, moving on to our next ghost topic.
Yeah, I have to see the list. I don't know what my next topic was.
I know you have Lizzie Borden.
Oh.
Because I want to talk about Lizzie Borden.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about her. I just know she killed her parents and her siblings,
with
right?
An axe.
Yeah, she, like, murdered them all in that house. And, well, so this was my point, actually. Not actually the story of what happened.
We don't care about Lizzie Borden.
My point being was, like, yeah, that house and the Whaley house are, like, considered two of the most haunted locations in America. And I'm like, I know there's thrill seekers and stuff out there. But I'm like, why the do people keep building, like, hotels and Airbnbs and, like, shit, like, surrounded by these famous places that people got, like, murdered? Or, like, because the Whaley house was previously the site of, like, a gallows. Like, hundreds of people got executed there, and then now it's an Airbnb. I'm like, why, first of all, why are you doing this? Second of all, why are you staying there? It's just so crazy.
Well, it's kind of like when people go to, like, Salem because of the witch trials and stuff.
Yeah. But I'm like, the site of murders? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, the witch trials were murders.
I would never sleep in a room like that. God.
I don't know that I would stay at a place like that, but I would definitely
visit.
Go.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
I'm not staying overnight at witching hour.
But especially if you, like, don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, some people really just have an affinity to, like, understand the supernatural and to see it because it's, like,
popular attraction.
Well, and to have your own experience with it, I think even if you kind of believe in ghosts, I could see the appeal of going to, like, bolster your belief, you
That's
know,
true,
to like
yeah.
want to have that experience. I think it's crazy, and I think that it makes people, I think the people who go underestimate maybe the power that a spirit could have if they're real, because I don't think that anyone would go anticipating that they're going to get like possessed or that anything bad's going to happen. They're probably
That's what I would anticipate if I went there.
But that's why you don't go there. That's what I'm
so
saying.
Crazy
I think
to
the
me.
people there aren't like expecting to be possessed or anything, but it is a crazy kind of vacation idea. I don't know. I would probably go.
I would go, like I would like walk around or whatever, but I'm not sleeping there. I'm not staying overnight.
No.
That's crazy.
Night is when you enter, that's when bad things can happen. Okay? So I'm not...
Because that's what all of the like reports that I read and like the tellings of like people who had been there and stuff, it was like, yeah, all in the middle of the night that they had seen these apparitions or heard voices or like whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you going there? Like you knew what you were getting yourself into. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I also think that, building like a hotel or a place to stay, like an Airbnb or something, that attracts more, because it's like people are going there with the intention of like wanting to see or feel or whatever these things. So they're already kind of bringing that vibe and that energy there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I feel like it's disrespectful of the ghosts. I think
it would make the spirits mad.
Yeah, they're like, this is where I fucking died, like, and now you're just coming here just for fun, like, as a little tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it would piss them off. If I was a ghost, I'd be upset. I'd be like...
Would you haunt people if you were a ghost?
Yeah, 100%.
Why? How? Why and how?
Okay,
Who would you haunt? Would you, like, target people, or would it just be, like, any rando?
It depends. If I'm just, like, a ghost that has, like, free reign to go wherever I want, then there's definitely a few certain people that I would target.
Okay, yeah.
But if I'm, like, tied to, like, a location, like, if I'm, like, stuck in the place that I died or something, then I would haunt people just for fun.
Okay.
Because I'm like, here's the thing.
I make people pee their pants. You know, like I do something just scary enough.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
But yeah, because if I'm like stuck here, right, like I'm assuming all that ghosts really want to do is move on.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to be stuck here. They want to move on to the next realm or whatever you believe in. But so if I have to be stuck here in the mortal realm and no one can see me or interact with me, then I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to entertain myself. So
I think the whole idea of like ghosts being stuck here because they can't move on, that's part of what gives me pause over ghosts, because I'm like, you know, there's not a lot of ghost sightings comparatively to like how big the earth is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no way that pretty much everyone who's died was able to move on that quickly.
That's, because there's a lot of gruesome deaths out there. There's
gruesome deaths, or even just like grudges kept, or like, I don't know. I just don't know about it.
Well, that's what, so I watched, I don't know if you've seen this movie. I think it's just called Ghosts, maybe. It's really good. I think maybe Ben Affleck was in it.
I haven't seen it.
It was like an indie film. It was like at the Broadway theater.
Okay.
But he's just stuck in the mortal realm because he, like, died and his, like, he still loved his wife or something. So it wasn't anything, like, gruesome or whatever.
Yeah.
He just thinks he, like, died before his time. And so it's actually a really beautiful movie because he kind of just sticks around, like, watches her live her life and all of that. But I'm like, I think if I think of a ghost with unfinished business, I'm thinking of, like, someone that got murdered and, like, wants revenge or, like, thinks that it was, like, unfair or something. So I'm like, those are the ones that I imagine sticking around that become closer to, like, demons, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what even is a friendly ghost?
That's true. But maybe ghosts, too. Maybe it's not even people who died. Maybe it's spirits that never got to come to Earth.
Oh,
or never got to have a body. I don't know.
Interesting.
A new theory? New ghost theory just dropped?
I
don't know. It's just like, what... I feel like I want to have a ghost experience now.
I know. I always have kind of wanted to have one just to know.
Well, I really want to go to New Orleans, and they have like a ghost tour of New Orleans, and I'd really like to do that. I feel like New Orleans is a place that would have ghosts.
Oh yeah, there was one of the ones on my list that I looked up of like most haunted places. One of them was in New Orleans. I think it was like the Lush. I don't know.
The Lush
Hotel.
Something in New Orleans.
But yeah, so that was kind of my point on those places, is like, why bring more of that energy? Well, okay, because that was the Stanley Hotel too.
Yeah.
Which is the basis of The Shining. It's the location where he based the book off of and stuff. And from what I could tell from my research reading into it a little bit was there wasn't many hauntings before that. Like, not a lot of reports of apparitions or anything. And then this guy goes and stays there and he's like, oh, this would make a great setting for this, you know, thing that I want to write about. And so then after the book and the movie, that's when it started becoming a real popular place and when people would like go there to stay and experience these ghost things or whatever. And that's also directly after that was when a lot of the reports of apparitions and stuff started happening. So
like at this specific place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, maybe it wasn't even haunted before. Like, maybe it was just people's energy coming in, like, expecting to see something or wanting to see something so badly.
Yeah.
That it kind of made it happen.
Well, I think your mind can play so many tricks on you, too. And, like, I think it's a good example, like, how the floor at my house used to creak.
Yeah.
If I had believed in ghosts, I totally could have been like, oh, yeah, I've had so much experience.
Yeah,
like,
true.
You know, there were ghosts walking around in my house, or, like, I think there was a spirit there because of these things.
Yeah.
So if you're going to a place, like, wanting to see ghosts, then I think things that happen, even if it's, like, something simple, you put a lot more stock in it, and you, like, might believe in these, like, in ghosts and spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's, like, the only thing that I'm, like, you know, if you hear something or something falls off the wall or a door blows open, I'm like, whatever. The only time that I could really get behind, like, believing, like, a true ghost story is if you, like, saw an apparition. Like, if you saw something. But that was so at the Stanley Hotel after the movie and stuff, this guy went and stayed there because he wanted to investigate and whatnot. And he just was, like, taking pictures of the hotel just to, like, post on his blog. And he took, I guess, this really famous picture of just the staircase because it was like a cool staircase or something and he didn't see anything, but he just took the picture.
Yeah.
And then he said he got violently ill that night. Like all night he was just like throwing up and felt so cold and just like he had a fever. And then he got home and developed all his photos. And that staircase photo, there was a ghost sitting on the stairs. Oh. And it got really famous and he like posted it and everyone was like, holy shit. Because Yeah. So
No, I do believe too, like, I definitely believe there are people who are more in tune with the supernatural, and I believe there are different supernatural gifts. Yeah. So I think that some people, like, maybe popularize these places because they do see a spirit and they have that, but then, like, all these other people who go after, it might just be a lot of, like, being in your head about it. Yeah. But maybe initial, like, cases, it might be someone who is, like, more in tune with things like that.
Interesting, yeah. Because that's what Lorraine Warren was, like, a kind of a light medium or something.
Yeah. Well, people say they were, you know, con artists, but...
Well, yeah, that's just what I was reading about it today, was that she had felt like she had been blessed as, like, a light medium. Yes. And her husband was just, like, a self-proclaimed demonologist.
Yeah, I do love... The Conjuring movies are just so good. They make you love the Warrens. And I, like, wish I could have met them in real life. I wonder what I would have thought about them. She actually just
recently died. She died in 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He died in, like, 2008, but...
Yeah, I don't know, the Conjuring stories are interesting. But I know that they're, like, really different than what actually happened. Because you can just read about the actual stories.
Yeah. That's what, because I was reading about the Amityville house today. That's part of the Conjuring, isn't it? Or in the same universe?
I think so.
Because it says that they investigated there.
Yeah,
but that's another... Yeah, another one of the most haunted places in America. And I was reading about it because I was like, I've heard that one many times. That's a... We were all tangled
I can't see. I can't see. Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to just move my arm. I got tangled in the cord. I couldn't see because of my ghost face. Oh my goodness.
Oh god, yeah. My nose is like in my eye hole now. But yeah, because I've heard that one so many times that I'm like, oh, something really atrocious must have happened there. And I was reading about it today, and it was just, like, 2 people died. And, well, I guess because, like, someone got, like, bludgeoned in, like, the eye or something. And when people go and stay there, they feel, like, sharp pains in their left eye or something. But then the current owners of the house that live there right now, to this day, they have never reported anything. They're like, it's not haunted, it's fine.
Yeah, so, I think a lot of it is in people's heads. Yeah. I don't know. It's so interesting. Okay, I'm ready for my next topic. Taven's taking her sheet off too. They're suffocating.
Oh my god, I can breathe.
That's why these ghosts are so mad. They can't freaking breathe. Oh my gosh, my leg is through my original head hole.
Oh my god.
What a disaster. Anyways.
What a relief. Okay.
My next topic. We'll lighten it up a little.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to talk about my childhood crush, my biggest childhood crush I ever had. And I bet
so crazy.
I bet so many people already know what I'm talking about if we're on the theme of ghosts.
I wouldn't have known.
It was Casper the Friendly Ghost from the movie with Christina Ricci. I think it was made in the 90s.
So crazy.
Probably early 90s it was made. But and I want to clarify, I do not have a crush on ghost form Casper. Okay, I'm not a weirdo. I had a crush on when Casper turns into a real boy for like the night. He was so handsome. He was like the most handsome boy I'd ever saw at the age of like 10. I was like, oh my goodness. I am, and you know what? When I looked up a picture of him when we decided we were going to do ghosts, I was like, he still is so handsome.
Is he still cute?
Oh, well, I don't know as an adult, but I'm like, that's a cute kid. That is a really cute kid.
That's kind of creepy, Addie.
Well, okay, I can see how I liked him as a kid. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was watching, a clip on TikTok today that this guy was talking to his friend. He's like, yeah, you were hot when you were a little kid. You were like little boy hot. And the friend was like, bro, chill.
I understand the sentiment that he was trying to make.
Yeah.
And the character from Casper, he was little boy hot. I actually don't even know that I thought, like, well, hot was the right word when I was a kid, but I was like, he is just so handsome.
Cutie.
And he felt so refined to me.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. At that little Halloween party in the
I actually haven't seen it, so.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have a picture of him that I can see?
I do. Taven, this is honestly jarring to me.
I've only ever seen the cartoon Caspers.
What?
I've never seen the live action.
Okay, if you guys haven't seen Casper the Friendly Ghost with Christina Ricci, you have to watch it. It's so good, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Taven's not going to. He's blonde. Taven does not like blonde guys. I don't like a blonde. But okay, imagine you're 10 years old.
Okay.
Or maybe 8. You're like 8 or 10.
Okay.
And you see this older, handsome boy pop up on your screen. Look at that hair.
Okay. Okay. He's handsome.
He is handsome. You can't tell me that he is not. Yeah.
I can see it. I can see it.
And he dances. They like dance together and they float in the air because he's still a little ghost.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay.
It's so romantic and it's so cute.
That's so cute.
Oh, God.
This reminds me of your other childhood crush. I don't know if we've actually talked about it on the podcast, but
I don't know if we have. We can go into
Draco Malfoy.
He's also blonde. That's really interesting.
That is interesting. You married a little brown hair boy.
I did. I feel like I did date 2 blonde guys, and I only had ever 3 boyfriends, and 2 of them were blonde.
Yeah, that's true.
Do I like blonde people? That's gross.
That's what, when Addie told me that she had a crush on Draco, I was like, what?
Draco Malfoy.
Of all the people?
Oh my gosh. That was like my
crazy.
I'd say my sexual awakening was Draco Malfoy.
Interesting.
Yes, I was so obsessed. I don't know, that blonde slick back hair in Harry Potter 2. That was like, as a kid, I had such a crush on him. I liked that he was a little mean too. I don't know. I was like, okay.
He was such a brat.
He was a brat, but I loved it.
I loved Daniel Radcliffe. I was obsessed with him.
Yeah, I loved his slick back hair. And then when Harry Potter 6 came out, obsessed. You couldn't stop my obsession with Draco Malfoy. I actually met Tom Felton, the actor for Draco Malfoy. I met him.
You met him?
Yeah, at Comic-Con.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just saw him.
A few years ago. No, I met him because me and my friend, we were like, we're paying the money to get a photo and an autograph, because I was like, this was my one true love for 10 years of my life.
Damn, you have to, yeah.
Yeah, and it was so fun. We made him laugh in our little
Oh my god.
My friend that I was with, it was so funny. Here's a little Comic-Con story, divergent from ghosts. When we met him, because we went and got our photo signed that we had been in with him, and they have these posters for the actors behind them. They're more like banners. They put big banners behind them, so when you walk through Celebrity Row, you can like see who's there. Mm-hmm. So the banners, they're probably like 4 feet tall by like 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
And they have the actor's huge face on them. It says their name, and it has the logo for Fanix or whatever.
Yeah.
When you go get your autograph signed, sometimes it like, while they're signing it, it takes a minute. So we asked, we're like, while he's signing, we're like, do you get to keep that poster? And he was like, I don't know why we asked.
That's a crazy question.
We just were kind of curious, because I'm like, what do they do with these? Like, do they just chuck them? I don't know.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I was like, they can't just throw these away. So we're like, do you get to keep this? And he was like, no, why would I want that? And my friend was like, I don't know, maybe that's like impressive to women you would bring home. And he laughed. He's like, what? Like, I'm gonna have that that behind my bed when a woman comes in? And we're like, I don't know, maybe.
I was at FanX 2020.
Yeah. Oh, that's me. I was in a few movies. I don't know.
You've heard of me.
I was on Celebrity Row. These are just a couple of my accomplishments.
So funny.
That was such a
gosh.
highlight of my life. Tom Felton, I love you. I love you so much, and I loved you from day one. I'm putting that out there.
Whoa.
No one can ever make fun of that celebrity crush. I'll own that forever.
I will make fun of that celebrity crush until the day that I die.
Yeah, God, I really just think I'm into blonde people right now, and that's,
you know what? I usually am not, but we weren't talking about it, but it was on one of our TikToks that we made. Legolas's dad in Lord of the Rings,
yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna share with the people now because we talked about it. We made this really funny TikTok. It was like a bracket for Lord of the Rings characters, and our final two brackets were Thranduil, Legolas' dad from the Hobbits, and Galadriel. Yeah. And we were both like, gotta be Thranduil. He's hot, okay?
We had like not even planned it or anything because it was one of those like
tilt your head
to pick, and we didn't even plan it, but we both kind of were just like
raise our eyebrows and tilt our head to Thranduil.
Because at first when he popped up, I was like, I know this is toxic of me, but I'm in love with him.
I was like, me too.
Because he's a little mean, but he's sexy.
I have to say too, I can't blame him. He's just trying to protect his people. Like, if you're immortal, I feel like if you lived long enough, you see all these wars, I think you could get to a point of like, well, why would I fight in that? Like, I've seen what happens. People just die. And then a next war.
And men are corrupt.
And then a new war comes along in 100 years and that war meant nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so I can see where he's coming from. I would have fought with the dwarves. I want to put that out there. Yeah. But I get where he's coming from. And then it's just hot. Okay.
It's like you're about to say something controversial.
No. You'll agree with me, Taylor.
Okay.
No, but it is going to be controversial. But it's so, I don't know. God, who's he talking to? Maybe Legolas? Oh, no. He's talking to Thorin Oakenshield, the main hobbit, right? Because they just got captured. And Thorin's, like, berating him. Like, you're not going to help us. And this dragon, like, he burned down all these cities or whatever. And Thranduil, like, you know, rushes forward and kind of bends down so he's on Thorin's level. And he's like, do not talk to me of dragon fire. And his face, like, kind of reveals that he's been burned by a dragon.
Oh,
you know,
yes!
When it goes... Yeah, and he's like, I have seen, well, I don't know, whatever. He says something about seeing the dragon or whatever. Do not talk to me of dragon fire. And it's so, I don't know, sexy.
Man. Should we watch The Hobbit?
Yes, I love The Hobbits. And if you're a Hobbit hater, I hate you. I'm putting that out there.
Strong opinion.
But
I will objectively agree that they are not as good as the original trilogy.
But I don't think they were ever made to be as good as the original.
Though. Yeah, they're still fun.
How I judge a movie, though, was I entertained? Did that entertain me? And the Hobbits, they entertained me. Legolas is hot. Bard the Boatman is hot. Thorin Oakenshield is hot.
God.
It's just got a bunch of hot, rugged men.
Yeah, rugged is the key word there.
Yeah, and then it's got some clean-cut ones with the elves.
That was, my sexual awakening, speaking of...
You're so crazy.
I actually had a dual sexual awakening, which is so funny.
Dual? Okay,
yeah.
I'm so excited to hear.
Because it was Viggo Mortensen. It was Strider. That was, the first time that I had thouts about a man.
Just wanted to protect me.
God.
I want Cody to grow his hair out so he looks like
I don't want him to protect me.
I want him to protect me.
I would do some things to that.
Okay, but he can still protect you.
Maybe in the streets.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't say I wanted to protect me in the sheets, Taven.
Okay, but we're talking about our sexual awakenings. Because, I've had a lot of crushes before then, but
well,
my first time being like, wow.
I feel like for me, I like when I see a guy or character and I feel like they could take care of me and protect me. Because I feel I'm very independent. I think I'm maybe a little brash and abrupt, and I can really take care of myself. So I feel like it's maybe more of a pride thing. Like, I know I don't need anyone to protect me or take care of me, but when there's someone like, I think this is a big thing I really like about Cody. Getting a little sentimental here. Cody, this is for you. But it's like, when I want to let someone do that for me, that's a big deal. Because I have dated people where I feel like they push my buttons in the wrong way, where it makes me angry at them, and it doesn't feel like they have my best interest at heart, so I don't trust them to be like,
Yeah.
So they're like, I want to do this and this. I'm like, does it look like I give a fuck? No. But, so
yeah,
I feel like Cody has that quality where I'm like, oh, I want him to, like, take care of me, and I want to maybe not be as abrupt as I am, and, like, do all those things.
I just want to be a soft little female.
A soft little female.
Feminine girl.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. They make me want to be a little feminine girl, and that's how Viggo Mortensen in Lord of the Rings makes me feel.
That's fair. And I feel like part of that actually ties into my being tall complex, because I'm like...
We could do a whole episode about our tall girl complex, because we both got it.
A brief summary, though, is that I always feel like I'm not, like, the feminine one in the relationship.
You feel like a monster.
I feel so big and, like, tall, like I'm towering, and I'm like, I just want to feel like a small, soft little girl that can be taken care of or whatever, but I'm like, I always feel like I just need to be, like, this, like... proud, like, I don't know, So,
I will say, it made me feel a lot better when I was telling Cody one time early in our marriage about, like, insecurities with being tall. Because you do feel, it's harder to feel feminine when you're tall.
Yeah.
I think most tall girls have experienced that.
It is, yeah.
It's a lot harder to feel feminine and to feel, like, cute. And I told her,
heels out.
Yeah, and I was like, Cody, would you, like, what if I, like, wore heels? Because we're close in height, so I would definitely be taller than him. And he's like, I love tall girls. I see it, and I'm like, I want to climb them legs. I was like, that's so crazy.
Okay, that's actually so funny. Jordan didn't say that exact same thing, but because I had, like, briefly mentioned it before that I had some, like, insecurities surrounding it, but he was like, yeah, I don't know, tall girls are hot. Like, I wasn't lying. Like, they're sexy. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like,
it is nice to hear.
Because there was a little, more of a height difference between me and him.
But I feel like in my heart, I know that a lot of guys, I think, feel like tall girls are sexy. Like, being tall is sexy. But then I think about, like, cute. The idea of a lifelong partner. They want someone small they can protect. Yeah. I'm not a small person that you can... I don't come off as small and protectable.
And being sexy is all fine and dandy, but it's like, sometimes I want to be cute. Like, I want to be just a little soft, cute girl.
Also, here's my thing. I do not have a sexy personality. I don't know if any of you guys have met me in person, but I do not come off as a sexy gal.
And I feel like you say that all the time, just, like, comparing us, because when you take a picture, you're like, I look really pretty, I look beautiful, but Taven looks sexy.
You do. I feel like you look sexy and mysterious. You look hot. You're just hot. And I feel like, I feel like I'm pretty, but do I come off as sexy? No. Not particularly.
I actually, there was a moment, I don't know exactly when it was, so I can't tell you, but
that you thought I was sexy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For the first time since growing up, I was like, Abby looks sexy. Like,
that's crazy. You better remember that moment.
I'll try. I think, maybe you had, like, done your, like, eyeliner and your hair was, like, down and straight or something, and your outfit was just killing it. I was like, whoa, okay.
A sexy queen.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, your dual sexual awakening. We got
because
Strider.
It was, Aragorn, and then also Liv Tyler. Because
she was so crazy.
She was hot as hell. I feel like maybe a lot of bi girls will understand this, but when you see, like, a pretty woman, for a minute, it's, like, hard to, like, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for.
Comprehend?
Differentiate between if you want to be them or be with them. I feel like that's something I hear a lot. Because at first I was, like, obsessed with her. I was like, I just want to be her. Like, I want to be this tall, elegant, dark-haired elf woman. But then as I grew up, I realized I was like, no, I think I just had a crush on her. Like, I think I thought she was hot. Yeah. So that was kind of my, like, dual sexual awakening, which was crazy.
That's so funny. I feel like when I watched... God, I hate myself. When I watched Lord of the Rings, the character I always...
If you say Éowyn right now, I swear to God.
No, I did not like Éowyn. You're gonna hate
Was it Gimli?
It was Smeagol. I had, like, such affection for Smeagol and so much love, and it was like, I don't know, it was like an affinity for Smeagol. Obviously not that I was, like, sexually attracted to Smeagol, but
God, I hope not.
No, it was just like a deep affinity for him.
That's so funny. I can actually totally see that for you, though. Like, it makes a lot of sense to me, but...
Yeah, it's my vibe.
That's so funny. Okay, Smeagol. Quick topic, and then we'll get back into ghosts.
Okay.
I just need to know... We've done this poll before on Instagram, but I'm going to throw it out to the world of our podcast listeners. Do you think that Aragorn led Éowyn on in the movies?
We haven't done... Oh, you did this on your personal Instagram.
Yes, like a couple years ago. Because my personal opinion is that, because at this point he thinks that Arwen has gone to the realm of the elves and is beyond his reach, he'll never see her again. So he's kind of like, still loves her, hasn't really moved on. But Eowyn has this like full-blown crush and is like obsessed with him, thinks she's gonna like marry him and all this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he ever really tells her no. Like he never, like he's so nice to her, he like tucks her in. And this is too, because the point, she's like telling her dad, the king, she's like, oh yeah, he's a really great guy. And he's like, yeah, he is. I'm really happy for you. So everyone else saw it too. Everyone else thought they were going to end up together.
I disagree.
But then at the last moment, Aragorn's like, yeah, my heart belongs to someone else. At the last moment.
I don't feel like it was the last moment. That's what I feel like. She has a crush, and then he does tell her, like, yeah, no, my heart belongs to someone else. That's it. And
long after he had already done all these crazy, affectionate things for
okay,
her.
I don't think it was that crazy. Also, he's old as hell. He's like 80 years old, and she's like 20. So I feel like, Taven, I just think if you rewatch it, it's he's not leading her on. I think she reads way into things.
But so does everyone else, because literally King was like, yeah, he's a great guy.
Or like literally everyone else. One guy. One old ass guy who's just possessed. So okay, we'll table this topic because we'll get too into it.
But weigh in. Let us know.
When we do our Lord of the Rings episode, because we will do one, we should do 3, and we can do one for each set. That would be so fun.
God, that'd be so great.
Okay, the trilogy podcast episodes in December.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's such a good idea. Okay, we'll table that. We'll get back into those. But yeah, let us know what you think.
What else was on our ghost
here was
list?
my other ghost thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
You don't even know what it is.
I know what the list was.
Okay, this is just a fun... Oh my gosh, actually, I have a lot to say about this ghost thing. This is a fun activity for you this fall. If you're looking for a fun little game, something to enchant you, to get you into spooky season, I would play Luigi's Mansion on the Switch. It's so good, so ghostish,
Oh my gosh.
I played it a lot growing up, and I was like genuinely scared of that game.
Really?
I couldn't ever finish because I was so scared. I wouldn't go into the rooms, like when it shows his little shaking hand on the door handle. That's how I felt inside. I was like, but Cody and I got it last year, and we played the whole thing through together to kind of like get in the spirit, and it was so fun. We might have played it over the winter actually, but it was just really fun to like play together and go through all the levels and like defeat all the ghosts. It's kind of like fun, lighthearted ghost stuff.
Yeah.
Also, King Boo, that was my affinity in the Mario world.
Yeah.
I love King Boo and Dry Bones. If I play Mario Party, that's who I always am. I'm either King Boo or Dry Bones.
Yep.
They're the best ones. And Boo, he's kind of like a vampire ghost too, because he has those sharp teeth.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So he's like really cool. That's just a little recommendation for spooky season. Also, they just remastered Luigi's Mansion 2 for the Switch.
Okay.
So Cody and I might.
I've never played any of the Luigi Mansion.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Maybe I'll get that one for the Switch.
Yeah, I have the one for GameCube if you want to borrow that.
Oh. Yeah.
And we have the one for Switch, so you could borrow either one. Because we
Okay.
played like Luigi's Mansion 3 and it was so fun.
Perfect.
It's just a fun little easy game, chill, fun to look at, and I like Luigi's voice.
Luigi, lucky day.
Luigi, lucky day. I don't know. Cody really made fun of my my accent from last week, so I'm trying not to do accents anymore.
He did?
He said it was really bad.
Rude. I actually just got to the part in the Vampire Diaries where Klaus is like a big character and comes in. And...
Elijah!
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was my redemption.
But I think because we were trying to describe what his accent was and put a location on it, and they describe it pretty clearly as British. There's like, there's this handsome British guy in the lobby.
Oh, interesting. I don't think that actor's British, though. I think that he's Australian. So maybe that's why
maybe he's like, an Australian person trying to have a British accent.
Okay. Taven, we're back to your list.
Okay.
I want to talk about the White House, ?
Okay.
What does that mean?
Well, because I looked up, the most haunted places in America.
Is the White House
The White House was number 3.
What?
I was like, what? I don't think anyone's ever heard that before, unless I'm just stupid.
I just had an amazing idea. Let's move into the White House.
Okay.
But, into the air vents. And we haunt the White House.
The ghosts.
Oh my god. That would be so fun. Okay, I'll get the schematics for the White House. How we can get in.
Cool, great.
And we can just, lay in the vents and go, ooh.
Freaking Biden's like, God, I'm really losing my mind. But yeah, so apparently one of the biggest apparitions that's seen around the White House that is most commonly reported is Abraham Lincoln. just wandering around there.
Oh,
His ghost.
interesting.
Yeah. So apparently the White House is super haunted, and I never knew all this time.
I would love to meet Abraham Lincoln's
I know,
ghost.
that'd be so sick.
I had an amazing Halloween costume idea a couple years ago for Cody's brother, because Cody's brother looks like Abraham Lincoln. And they were doing they were just looking for ideas. And I was like, oh my gosh, you and your wife, you guys should be Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln.
Yeah.
Because she kind of looks like Mary Todd, I feel like. I don't know what Mary Todd looks like. She just looks like.
She would be.
She just looks like she could be. But then I was like, no, Cody, we should do it. And we should do a Halloween 5K, like a fun run.
Yeah.
Because they have a bunch of those. And Cody's going to be Abraham Lincoln. And I'm going to be John Wilkes Booth. And I just chase Cody the whole race.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That's so funny.
But then someone told me, they're like, it's really too soon. And I'm like,
Is it?
is it? I was 1860
It's been
something.
over 100 years.
I think we could let it go.
That's crazy.
But I thought that was a hilarious costume.
Oh my gosh, it's too soon.
I think Abraham Lincoln's ghost would come. He would migrate from the White House, come give me a high five.
Oh yeah, at the end of the race, he's like, you did it, girl.
There's a picture of me in the paper, high-fiving Abraham Lincoln's ghost.
That's so funny. Yeah, you should do the 5K in DC.
Oh yeah, that makes way more sense. I'm not gonna make Abe Lincoln travel to Utah.
Yeah, you gotta come to him.
Yeah, I gotta go to him.
He's like a busy guy, even in the afterlife.
I know, he's got a lot of stuff to do. It's the most respectful thing to do.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, so just thought that was crazy. It like popped up on the list. I was like,
yeah,
excuse me?
I have never heard of the White House being haunted,
I haven't
so that's
either.
interesting.
But it was like, yeah, number 3. I was like, okay, weird.
I wonder, we have to look into that, to the tours there, if people see.
Oh yeah, maybe. I wonder if you could do an overnight tour of the White House.
Ooh, spooky.
Like a midnight tour. That'd be so fun.
We should do a ghost tour of anywhere and just pretend there are ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're like in the crowd and we're like, holy shit, did you see that?
Oh my
the
God.
rest of the group is like, what?
We like have like a
spanning the flames.
smoke machine. And we're like, where'd that fog come from?
We like hire Cody to like hide and then like start slamming doors or something.
Yes.
That'd be so
Ooh,
funny.
that would be awesome.
I think I did do a ghost tour in San Diego or somewhere in California when I went.
That's fun. I just remembered. Are you okay?
No.
I just remembered. Okay. Damn it. No.
Hey! I'm choking.
I'm just kidding. I just remembered a really good movie that I watched last year that I would recommend. It's one of the... Oh, shoot. Now I can't remember. It's like Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
What's the third one? Oh, Haunting in Venice.
Mm.
Did we go see that together? Maybe
No.
Cody and I went and saw it. It was kind of spooky.
Really?
And it's a little more ghost themed, and it's still a murder mystery. It was really, really good. Oh my gosh, Taven, you would love that movie.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Okay.
I was like scared.
Interesting.
So, it was really fun. I would highly recommend that.
Okay. God, I feel like when we get to the end of the episode, should do some recommendations again, and I have so many.
We will do. I feel like
so many this time.
Okay. We're at 58 minutes right now.
Okay.
I want to let you know. So we crush through your last topics. I'll crush
Okay.
through mine, and then we'll do recommendations.
Okay, yeah, so, did the dreams, did the house. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, I just wanted to lightly bring up the suicide forest in Japan, because that's crazy.
Lightly. Just a little light suicide
Well, I
forest.
mean, if we had more time, I'd go deeper into it.
Yeah.
But it's just so crazy to me that there's just this place where people just go to die. They're like, I'm done, and this forest is the place for it. But apparently...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, they have signs now, too, because people think that now that it's haunted, for sure, because so many people have died there, but they have signs, like, on the path, like, saying, like, literally do not, like, it's, like, illegal to stray from the path now.
Interesting.
Because when people do, they never come back. And I think it's, like, the ghosts of all these people, like, trying to convince people to, like, unalive themselves.
Maybe. I just wonder, too, if that's a good place to go. Like, I mean... This is a heavy topic, Taven.
I know.
But, you know...
We're on the ghost side of it.
Yeah, but also, I'm just saying, if you go to a forest, like,
Yeah.
you're not kind of, I guess, burdening your family with, like, finding your body in your apartment or
True.
something like that.
I think that maybe it started off that way, like a nice, tranquil, calm place to have your last moments in.
Now it's...
But I think now there's
haunted.
literally so much bad energy and, like,
Mhm.
bad vibes there, because it's, like, people say they'll go, and they'll take, like, even on the path, they'll take, like, 2 steps and, like, no, I'm out. Like, I cannot be here. And they, like, will just run away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's so crazy. Yeah, then we talked about the religious aspect of hauntings. And then, oh yeah, apparently the Tower of London is haunted by a bear.
Did a bear die there?
I guess it used to be a menagerie. Is that how you say that? Menagerie?
Yeah, menagerie.
Yeah, so a lot of animals died there, but there's been multiple reports of people seeing a phantom ghost of a bear. And one of the guards, apparently this is a story that's told, I don't know how true it is, but one of the guards saw this phantom bear and dropped dead from shock.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually have 2 recent bear stories.
Because I've never heard of any animal ghosts before. That's like very uncommon.
These are not ghost bear stories. But
Okay.
My most previous job that I had, I did like remote art sales.
Yeah.
But one of my coworkers, she did them in person. Like she would do art auctions at Lake Tahoe, like at the Ritz-Carlton there.
Wow.
And one night or the next day, so it was a day after she just done an auction, and she called me. She's like, "Addie, guess what I saw last night in the hotel?"
In the hotel?
It was a bear. It was a brown bear in the hotel.
Nuh-uh.
In the Ritz-Carlton. It had just gotten in, and she took a picture and then went to the front desk. You know, like she just saw it, took a picture, and then was like, "Hey, there's like a bear out here in the halls." And it was
by the way,
the bear was literally just, walking through the halls.
I want to take care of that.
But then my other bear story, super quick, because my mom told me yesterday. My uncle, he's up hunting right now. So my family's like from Alaska, and they have a cabin out, like a remote hunting cabin, and they've been moose hunting. But he was out doing some fishing, and he heard something, turned, and a grizzly bear was charging him. So he pulled out his gun and shot the bear. My mom just sent me the picture of my uncle.
Did it die?
Yeah, it died.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like charging him, and so because he was like fishing, and anyways, so they shot the bear, and he was like standing over the bear in this picture. I'll show you after. It was crazy.
Gosh, that's insane.
It was crazy because I think he was out by himself fishing, but I mean he's always got a gun on him, so that's good. But
that's wild. I don't even know if I'd have the reaction time to do that, honestly.
I know, but
I'd be so scared.
I asked my mom too what he's gonna do, because I was like, do people eat bear? But I guess my mom has had bear before, and it's super oily, so it's like people don't really eat it, but so they like skinned it to take the pelt, and then I think
I was gonna say I maybe would take the head and like mount it as my trophy.
Yeah,
like, I killed this bear.
I think they took maybe the head and the pelt, but then I think they just leave the rest for, I don't know, do other bears eat bears? Anyways, those maybe are 2 crazy bear stories.
Insects, maggots.
Yeah, insects or maggots. So
that's crazy. What'd you do if you saw a bear ghost?
If I saw a bear ghost?
Like if you were just like out if you were in London and you just were a tower, and then you turn around and there's a bear ghost.
You know the song Werewolves of London? You could replace it and do Bear Ghost of London. Oh,
I want to look more into that story because I read very briefly about it, but yeah, apparently he just saw the ghost and really dropped dead from shock, like had like a heart attack or something.
I don't know. If I saw a bear ghost, I'd probably try and pet it because it's like a ghost. It can't bite me. I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's the one time you can befriend a bear.
Well, one time, yeah.
Yeah. It would love
so
me.
Funny.
Probably. Oh, I don't know. I think if I saw any ghost, like if I saw a ghost, bear or human, I'd be like,
excuse me?
Probably. I did. If you don't see me, well, you can't see me. This is an audio recording, but I just did the widest eyes. Big eyes. I'd be so scared. I'd probably pee my pants. I don't know. I'd be so scared. I would leak bladder.
Yeah. I feel like, it would take me a minute to adjust to it. Like, if I didn't, just drop dead, I'd be like, okay.
Oh.
Okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah.
I think that's a great ghost story to end on.
Alright.
And now we can do our ghost recommendations.
Yeah. God, there's just too many.
There are too many. One I
so
really
many ghost stories out there.
have so strongly. It's kind of ghost, kind of Satanish. I feel like a lot of ghosts and devil stuff go hand in hand in pop culture.
Yeah.
But it's the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix. I think
heard of it.
They are some of the best scary movies ever made. They're like slasher. Not Thrasher. I was like, wait, hold on, that's wrong. Kind of like slasher. They're really good, and the trilogy, it takes place over like 3 separate times. So the first movie is like Fear Street 1990. Second one is like Fear Street like 1976, and then the last one is 1666.
Whoa!
And it's kind of like witches, ghosts, demons. Okay. It's really good. It's fun, but it's also spooky. I think they're really good movies. We have to watch them this year. Yeah, I've watched them every year for like since they came out.
Interesting.
They're very good. So that's my first recommendation. Fear Street.
You know what I actually just realized could be a ghost recommendation as well as the Vampire Diaries.
There are a lot of ghosts in the
Yeah.
Vampire Diaries.
I'm
Okay.
just getting to that season where all the ghosts start appearing.
I think that's great.
So
Put it
fun.
out there again.
The Vampire Diaries.
Excellent.
Always and forever. There's one that I'm thinking of, but I can't. Oh, it's called The Gallows. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it takes place like in a school. They because people are idiots in ghost movies, but they recreate a school play that happened like a few years before, where there's like a gallows involved and someone accidentally died the first time they did the play.
Terrible
So then
decision.
they were like, let's redo it and not have anyone die this year. And guess what? Everyone dies.
Surprise,
Spoiler
surprise.
alert. But it's actually really good. I was expecting it to be very cheesy, but it was actually very haunting. It's
Okay.
in theaters.
I like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put that down on my list.
Okay.
My next one, obviously, I'm just gonna say it again. Casper the Friendly Ghost with Christina Ricci. It's a must.
Not
It
the
is-
cartoon.
Not the cartoon. It is literally a must-watch, have-to-see ghost film. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it already. All the Conjurings are great. Oh, what's the one, that has... they go to the basement and they find the old films, and then all the stuff, like, starts happening because there's, like, a demon that was, like, living in the films. It starts with an I, but it's not Insidious. It's,
It?
no... What is it? It's literally probably the only scary movie that's actually scared me. Like, I literally could not sleep for a few nights
It starts
because
with
of
an
it.
I? I don't think I've seen that movie.
I'm pretty sure. I literally have it in my room. I own the movie.
I do
so
think It... Is that a ghost? I don't know. Demon?
It Follows, I've heard, is good.
Oh,
I haven't
It
seen
Follows is an excellent movie.
Yeah.
That's a
I know
good
what it's
ghost
about. I've heard
recommendation.
all about it. I haven't seen it. But,
Yeah.
God, what is it called? This is going to bug me.
Insidious. Into the Woods. Inside Out.
I don't know. We'll put it on the Instagram because I cannot think of it. But, another good one, Annabelle Creation.
Oh, shoot. That one's so scary.
I own that one too. I only own the scariest movies that I've ever seen for some
Yeah,
reason.
Taven-
Which seems crazy.
I watched that for the first time with Taven, and I played bricks and balls the whole time on my phone because I was too scared.
I love it. I rewatch it maybe once every 3 years because it is really spooky.
Yeah.
So I have to give it a minute. But
I need to watch it again. Let's watch it this year.
I like it better than all the other Annabelles.
The last time we watched it was 3 years ago when we lived in the basement.
True. It's
So,
time.
It's time. Also, I haven't seen this, but I'm going to recommend it because this is the year that I watch it. The Nun.
Yes.
In the Conjuring universe, there's this ghost, the Nun, and I have always been... It's so scary to me. So I've always been too scared to watch the movie The Nun.
Really?
Yes, because I'm like really freaked out by it, honestly.
Interesting.
And so this is the year I'm
it
gonna
kind
watch
of comes
The
up
Nun.
in another Conjuring movie, right?
Yeah,
But then they do one just all about her.
It's in the second one because
yeah.
spoiler, the main ghost is kind of being controlled by the nun ghost.
Yeah.
So
So spooky.
it is so spooky. But so
God.
let's all watch The Nun together. This will be the year that I do it, and I'm
How
so
fun.
excited.
Oh my gosh.
And then let's all go on a ghost tour in Salt Lake City. I actually think Salt Lake does have ghost tours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we should go on one
Sounds
this year.
like no, I'm not going to the Ted Bundy house. That's crazy.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Oh my gosh. Actually, real quick, I know this is not really ghost related either, but it has to do with Ted Bundy. And I was asking people this question recently because of the tattoo that I did on Jordan. But I was saying that, like, people
Taven
that
did
are...
a bite mark tattoo on her boyfriend.
Yeah,
just
so
you know.
I bit his chest and then, like, stenciled it on and tattooed it on him. So it's... Addie hates it, but I thought it was great. He thinks it's great.
I'm glad you guys like it.
But I was talking about, because a lot of people get Ted Bundy's bite mark tattooed on them, which I think is insane.
I think that's so crazy.
I think it's absolutely atrocious, because I'm like, oh, you were saying, like, people get so removed from, like, horror stories and serial killer stories that
Yeah.
it's just, like, they think it's, like, fun and stuff, but I'm like, those are real victims. Like, those are people that he, like, tortured and murdered, and you're gonna get his bite mark? That's crazy.
I think it's very easy to blur the line, especially when we do have a lot of pop culture that's fictional, you know, like
but those are real
like,
stories.
they're real stories,
and especially because we live here, it just feels like my mom knew people that died and stuff, you know?
I know, and I think it's particularly crazy because I think the Conjurings are kind of a good example. Like, those movies, they are based on real people and they are based on real stories, but it's fiction.
They're
like, these
so over dramatized.
These movies are fiction,
cinema.
and too, I feel like if you get really into them, like, these characters, like, again, they're dramatized. Like, the Ed and Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring, they're not the real Ed and Lorraine Warren. So I can see how you could, like, really like these kind of, like, fake ones, and because they do become characters, but, like, Ted Bundy, he's not a character. That's, like, well, I guess Ed and Lorraine Warren, they are real people, but do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I get it. Because it's, like, no movies were ever really made about, like, that. Like, there are movies about serial killers and stuff, but even then, it's just, like...
Maybe, too, because ghosts are different than serial killers.
Yeah.
It feels in poor taste.
Yeah. It feels icky to me. Whenever I see that, people are like, look at my new tattoo, and I'm like, ugh.
Ugh, no.
Ugh.
God, psychiatric evaluation.
That's what I was saying. I was like, do you think that... My original question was that if people are, like, that obsessed with, like, serial killers and, like, the true crime podcasts and documentaries and stuff, I'm like, do you think they have a little bit of a mental illness? Because I'm like...
I don't know. I have heard that, like, okay, these are all just TikToks I've seen, so I'm not, like, a psychologist here, but I have heard that if you have, like, intense interest in that, it can mean you grew up in, like, an unsafe family situation, or, like, I don't know, certain things like that. So I think it depends your level of interest, because, like...
Yeah. Well, to that point that you're getting the tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's sick.
Yeah, to a point, it is fascinating, to a point, you know, but to that extent, I'm like...
Or, like, people who write serial killers in prison and write them, like, love letters. Yeah. I do think that is mental illness. Yeah. I think that's crazy.
That's so weird. Yeah.
Sorry if you write serial killers love letters. I think you're crazy. I don't know. That's, like,
and if you do, write in. Let me know why. I need to know the thought process that's going behind your decisions. I actually am just genuinely interested.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
On that note, I think we'll wrap it up. We're excited next week to continue our monster dives.
Yes, we're doing witches, right?
Yes, witches, which I'm so excited for witches.
Really?
I feel like it kind of is a vibe with ghosts, similar, but I got a lot of witch content that I'm ready to unload.
I do not.
And I'm excited because I feel like there's more, like, folklore we can go into, because ghosts, you know, vampires, we went into some of the folklore. Ghosts, I did look a little, but there's just, I think most cultures believe in a ghost because you just believe in spirits, you know? So I think there's not as much, like, folklore or interesting facts, in my opinion, when I was looking at ghosts. But witches, there's a lot more, like, folklore, kind of interesting beliefs surrounding what a witch is and why they happened, so...
I just thought of another really good recommendation, and I'm so pissed at myself right now.
Is it a ghost one?
Yeah, it's a ghost one, and it's a video game, and I cannot remember the title of it.
Ghost Rider.
All I know is that it starts with an R. So...
Okay, a ghost game that starts with an R. We'll leave you with that. And we will see you next week.
Bye!
Bye!